Hey guys, welcome back to another guide of Project Zomboid, but this time we're going to do occupations. So these are basically the roles you want to pick before you even get to the traits. Many of these come with a lot of strengths and weaknesses with each individual occupation here. And we do have a tier list, starting from F to S. Now we'll start with the worst, then get to the best, with various reasons here. For F, the first one would obviously be a doctor here. In Project Zomboid, most of the time, if you're going to get attacked, you're already at a great risk of your game ending from a infection, becoming a zombie, or disease at all, really. But it does come with a better first aid, and when it comes to foraging, you will find better medical supplies. And you do start with a good short blade skill here, as long as first aid, so you can power rank your first aid pretty quickly in case you ever do end up using it. Second would be an electrician. Kind of pointless. You can learn just about all his skills just off a book. It's really pointless. Electrical ain't worth your time. You can operate the generators, but you can learn how to do all this. You know, the radios and the controllers ain't bad, but these are all things you can learn. It just takes a little time to get this, and this just saves your time. So it's really pointless in the long run, if you're wanting a long game. Next would be a farmer. And you know how to cure plant disease with this, which can wipe out a lot of your crops, which are very crucial for the winter when all your provisions and all the perishables start spoiling. Yes, it would help with farming. It's useful if you're gonna live on your own. You also get a lot more fruits and vegetables off your food when you do harvest them, as long as the 50% increase in crops. This would be perfect for a woodland run. The next would be the fisherman. Not many people fish on Project Zomboid. First off, you do start with a decent foraging bonus and fishing, but you can get a lot of good. The weather does not really affect you much, and you can get good insects, and you know how to use a lot of fish baits. So it's alright if you just want to fish, but not my cup of tea. The next one is the metal worker. You're able to forge metal. You can forge the metal to create items of barricades without having to learn all this. And you know all the metalworking recipes, which can be handy because there's a lot. And you have to do a lot of searching for that. That's mainly you just start with metalworking. Ain't worth your time. Construction worker is a D tier. So they start getting a little bit better. Helps with carpentry. You can increase your rank. Therefore speed up the time when it comes to building stuff if you want. Really, if you want to do a lot of massive projects in the game. So the construction worker ain't bad if you want to hole up somewhere. Next one is the fitness instructor. Start with a good sprinting bonus, and you also come with nutritionalist, so you know all your caloric intake. So weight gain can be really easy here. If you start like very underweight, you can pick the right foods for it. But it comes with decent fitness as well, and you do find more food. And this is helpful if you want to run a more clean run and you want to know what your character is actually eating. The next one is the security guard. He's a night owl. You need less sleep, which ain't bad in the game. Means you can do more throughout the day without having to worry about zombies sneaking around when you go to sleep. And you're also extra alert while sleeping, so you can wake up if a zombie starts banging on your door. It's really nice. But it does cancel it out when you reach 0 tiredness, so you get good light-footed and sprinting. This is a good running character, and if you want to do a lot of night activities. The next tier list would be the C tier with the repairman. He has good carpentry along with maintenance and a short blunt. This would be good for if you want to build as well, while also preparing your tools so you don't have to forge for even more over time. The chef starts with cook. It does nothing. It's really pointless because in this game you do not cook much at all. unless you're making a salad or something, or heating something up. As a straight does, it's not worth your time. Cooking's pointless, and I would never pick chef, but it isn't bad when it comes to short blade and your maintenance. But yeah, it does deserve the C title. The next is the veteran here. This is a pretty good one. You're desensitized. That's really it though. This is good for the firearm. If you want to do a good firearm playthrough, your aiming and reloading can be increased pretty quickly. You also find a lot more ammunition, the 50% increase when you're foraging, so it's really helpful and very nice to have. Next one is your park ranger here. This one, it does good. Start with a good axe and carpentry. This would be a good perfect woodland playthrough if you want to play outside. You start with a lot of good stuff, a lot of good traits that you could use overall. And the last one on the C tier is the mechanic. With this, you start with amateur mechanic, so you can repair all the vehicle models. This is really helpful when you get a vehicle and takes damage and the character doesn't know how to repair it. That's not the case for the mechanic. He knows how to do all this. His mechanic skills 125%, which makes it skyrocket like crazy, which is really nice. The B tier is up, and the first one will be the burger flipper. You know, you get the cook trait, pointless like before, but you start with you find a lot more packaged food, which helps for the long run. It does not spoil like the other foods, and you start with a good short blade. It's pretty good to have here. Along with unemployed, this one you have no traits. You just start with 8 free skill points that you can blow into any of these. So yeah, free 8 points that you can make your own build around. Really, that's the point of the unemployed. Make your own special guy. The next would be the carpenter. This is really nice for the building playthroughs. You get 125% carpentry along with short blunt, and you also find a lot more firewood and 10% more jump. This is perfect if you want to build stuff. You start with a higher carpentry skill gain. Next is the A tier, and the first one's my favorite, the lumberjack. This is my favorite occupation. I'd always pick. Start with axeman. So you have a faster axe swing, which helps in combat if you do get to an axe, and it's 25% faster against trees and zombies, and you are also better at chopping trees, so it's very viable if you want to build your own base. And you have 100% axe skill gain. And you start with an extra strength. You find a whole lot more firewood, and the weather does not affect you nearly as much. Along with that, you have the police officer here. He starts with good aiming and reloading. This is much like the veteran, but you're not desensitized. You also, instead, you come with a nimble. It helps with running, but you can really cancel out your panicking with beta blockers. You can find a lot more weapons and ammunition with the police officer occupation when you go foraging. Next is the top of the apex tree here, and these are all your S tiers, including the fire officer, which is very similar to the lumberjack down here, but he don't start with the axe trait. He just have axe skill gain and sprinting. He starts with good fitness, strength, and sprinting. This is a better all-around fleshed out character instead of the lumberjack, but I personally don't like it. The burglar is also probably the best trait in the game. You can hotwire cars, you don't have to learn none of it, and you know, there's often times when you run into a building and the house alarm goes off, and there's a much less chance if you're a burglar of this happening. It's really good against like sprinters. You definitely need this trait against sprinters. Your light-footed is 100% skill gain, along with nimble and sneaking. I think I'm the perfect on-foot character in the game. You find a lot more stuff with them, including weapons and ammo. So, and the last one is the engineer. This one you can make traps and the fun explosives, and you know how to make all that. This is good at distracting zombies. Here you can do some fun stuff with the engineer. And you start with the good carpentry and electrical, which helps a lot when the power goes out. So this character is this occupation is one of the best as well. That's why it deserves the S tier. But that's all the occupations in the game here. So I mean, you pick whatever. It just depends on how you want to play the game. The S ones are really for long tier. The F are just if you want to role play really and have some fun. But as always, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later.